Hello everyone, I hope you all are doing well. This side Priya Bhatia, and in this specific video we will be discussing about functions in detail. तो पूरा के पूरा वीडियो ध्यान से देखना because it's a recording of one of my live session. In this specific video we will be discussing about how can we create our own user defined functions. कैसे हमें function call करना होता है. What is the difference between return versus print statement? Which one is a better practice in the industries, right? What is the purpose of default parameters? How usually we define the default parameters? So considering that you are from a non-programming background, then also you will be able to understand this session pretty well. So as I told you, it's a recording of one of my live session. So try to make sure that you will watch this video till the very end because it would be a long video. Document your learning and then help me to understand in the comment section whether you like these kind of one-shot videos or not. Accordingly, I will plan to upload more videos like this. Also, if you find this video insightful, make sure that you will do your bit as well by sharing, liking, and subscribing to my channel. With this, let's get started. So today's focus is to discuss about, just give me a second. Yes, now it is fine. So let's get started. So today's focus is to discuss about the functions in Python. So let's get started. Functions in Python. Functions होते क्या है? What does that mean? किसको पता है? What is the meaning of functions? Functions का मतलब क्या होता है? Anybody? Reusable block of code, yes. Through which we can perform a particular task, yes. So it's correct. So basically, whenever we are talking about functions, so we can say that it is a reusable code block used for doing a specific task. Used for doing a specific task. Right? So let's suppose there is a task which you want to perform again and again, repeatedly. अब वो कुछ भी हो सकता है. मान लो आपको दो नंबर्स को ऐड करना, बट ऐसा नहीं है कि आप एक बार ऐड करना चाहते हो. आप चाहते हो कि नंबर्स बदलते रहें बट ऑपरेशन सेम रहे. So at that point of time, what will you do? You will try to create a separate function by the name of add, where the major purpose is to add the two numbers together, right? So that is where the functions comes into picture. ऐसे ही let's suppose कि you want to create a function to greet someone. For example, अगर कोई सामने वाला बंदा आपको यूजर नेम बताए, जैसे मैंने बताया प्रिया भाटिया, तो वो ऑटोमेटिकली मुझे ग्रीट करे. लेट्स से हेलो, हाउ आर यू प्रिया भाटिया, समथिंग लाइक दैट. So in that specific case, again, I have to create a function where the value of the username will get changed. But as per that username value, the greeting part, the greeting message will get accordingly changed as per that specific function. So this is the simple idea behind creating the function. Reusability of the code. किसी को भी एक code बार बार लिखना ना पड़े. There will be a reusability and directly a user can Call the function and use that. That's the main idea why this function concept comes into picture. Now, when we talk about functions, there are two types of functions you always listen. The very first type, which you might be already aware, is what we called as inbuilt functions. And we have already seen, and I hope everyone is aware till so far, that we have so many inbuilt functions. For example, print is a function, which is an inbuilt function. We're not defining it. You must have used max function. You must have used min function. You must have used sum function. और कौन से functions use करें आपने? Which are the inbuilt functions? You must have used average, AVG, right? You must have used a length function to calculate the length of any specific string. So all of these are the perfect examples of inbuilt functions. Here, we don't need to define that what is the purpose of these functions. You can directly go refer the documentations and you will be able to get the idea that what is the purpose of all these functions. Yes, everyone? Now, the second type where today we are very focused towards is the user-defined functions. User-defined functions. This is where our complete focus lies. And this is the main thing that we have to discuss today. User-defined functions. So what is the meaning of user-defined? Any function where, we are defining as per our need. We don't have any standard definition for the same or the documentation for the same. And as per your wish, as per your requirement, as per your need, you are defining that. Getting my point? All good? Yes? So let's try to see how can we define these functions practically. First of all, whenever we are defining these kind of functions, specifically user defined, we have to use this def keyword in Python. So def, then you have to define the function name. And inside this function name, you have to define whatever be the parameter which you want to change, you want to define that. And then there will be a logic of the function which you supposed to define over here inside these code blocks, right? So let's try to understand practically how can we do that rather than explaining it theoretically. For that, let me do one thing. Let me create one folder for today's class and then we can proceed. In the meantime, you guys also open the Colab and then we can start further. So today's class is about functions in Python. Date is 21st of May, 4 p.m. So I have opened the Colab. At the end of the session, I will share with you the drive link as well. So this is functions in Python. This is the target for today. Let's connect this file. And let me share this file with everybody. If you want, you can refer this file side by side. Oh, okay. Sorry. Yep, it's June. मैंने May लिख दिया ना? Thank you so much. Yes. Check the link in the chat. Again, I have shared. मिला सबको? I hope the link is accessible. Perfect. चलें आगे? Everybody ready? Why not? That's the spirit. Great. So now let's try to create the function. So as I told you, the way to define the function is def. Then you have to mention the function name. And internally, you have to provide the parameters. This is the standard way. And after that, this is the, I would say, function body, where you need to define the logic to, I would say, define the functions. And finally, you will be having a function calling at the end, where usually you will call the same function which you have defined by providing the function names, and inside that you will provide the arguments or the parameters, whatever it be. So this is how the body of the functions looks like. मैंने close नहीं किया. Let me close this so that you will have a better clarity, right? So let's try to create one function, customized function, whose main task is to greet whosoever will write their username. So def greet, and inside this, there will be a username mentioned by the user. Inside this, we can print hello, let's say, and then we can provide the username, and let's say exclamation mark. This is a simple way to greet someone, right? Now you will have to do the function calling. So here the function calling comes into picture. And finally, again, you will call greet. And inside this, let's say I am specifying the username as Priya Bhatia. Once you run this line of code, what you will be able to get is the proper, I would say, greeting message, hello Priya Bhatia, something like this. Now, if let's say in future, the username will get changed to maybe whose name I should write. Let me check the names of the people who are enrolled in this specific course. Let's say I can see on the top the name as Shreya Agarwal. So Shreya Agarwal. So as soon as I will write this, you will see that the greeting message will get changed and specifically available for him. So this is the main objective कि हमें बार-बार जो greeting message है वो लिखना नहीं पड़ रहा. Just have to call the function and automatically we will be able to get the message over here. Getting my point? समझ में आया क्या किया हमने यहाँ पे? चले आगे. Shall we proceed ahead now further? All good till so far? So I hope you got that this is the standard way to represent. This is the standard way to define the functions. So functions क्या समझे हमने? What do we mean by functions at the end? What is the conclusion? What have you learned about functions? Reusable code block, can we say? That performs a specific task. That is the main purpose of functions. And below is the syntax to define any user-defined functions. Make sense? चले आगे? Shall we proceed ahead? Everybody is fine till so far? If yes, give me the confirmation फटाफट से so that I can move ahead. चले? Shall we proceed ahead? All good? Resend the collab file link. Let me resend it again. But try to write the code at your end. Don't copy paste, right? Are functions and methods same? Yes. With respect to the Python, usually we use these two terms interchangeably. So don't get confused in these two words. Okay. Shall we now move ahead? Everybody is ready? Now let me talk about another interesting concept over here, and that is about the default parameters. Now, usually what happens? We have seen that we will write these, I would say, arguments inside this username part, and whatever we will write, accordingly, the greeting message will be printed, right? Let's suppose that I'm creating one function, maybe def my underscore function, and inside that, I will define few parameters like A, B, C, and I'm defining the C value as, let's say, 10. So when you define the value of C as 10, this is called as default value. Now, what is the meaning of that and what is the purpose of that? Def is the keyword which is used to define the functions. So because you are providing the function definition, so always remember in Python that will always be started with the help of def keyword. Now, what is the meaning of this default parameters? Let's try to understand it. Let's say you are saying return A plus B minus C. And here you are calling the function my underscore function, and inside that you are passing the values, let's say 20, 30, and 5. What do you think we will be able to get the answer? Think over it and let me know. When you run this, let's say you will store this value inside a variable called as result. And when you try to print this result, can anyone let me know what is the result we are expecting in this case? क्या होना चाहिए? जैसे ही आप इसको पास कर रहे हो, see what will happen. Let me copy this part of the code and paste it over here. See this very carefully. So what will happen? Okay. पूरा code paste नहीं हुआ. Let me just again take it. So now what will happen? Listen it very carefully. Here, as soon as you will pass these values, this value, you're calling this my function. So it will go to the definition of this my function. Here we are passing three values, 20, 30, and 5. So what will happen? We have three parameters. So automatically A की value में assign हो जाएगा 20, B की value में assign हो जाएगा 30, और C की value में assign हो जाएगा 5. Because आपने तीन values यहाँ पे pass करी है. 10 कब यूज होगा? जब आप C की value pass नहीं करोगे. I will showcase you that stuff as well. But for now, because you have passed the three values, that is the main reason, automatically A, B, C will be assigned the value as 20, 30, and 5. And now what value you are returning as an answer? क्या return कर रहे हो? 20 plus 30 minus 5. So it should be 45. But let's try to run this and check whether we are saying it correctly or not. आ रहा है 45?
45 आ रहा है, समझ में आया? अब अगर मैं यहां पर एक और काम करूं, सिर्फ ये लिखूं, तब क्या होगा? अब मैंने क्या किया, फंक्शन कॉलिंग करते समय मैंने पैरामीटर्स में थोड़ा सा चेंजेस करे. नाउ आई एम कॉलिंग माई अंडरस्कोर फंक्शन, but inside this I'm just referring to variables. First variable obviously will incline towards 20, so a की वैल्यू अभी भी 20 रहेगी, b की वैल्यू अभी भी 30 रहेगी. बट क्योंकि यहां पे मैंने c को डिफाइन नहीं किया, because I have not defined any value of c, so the default value of c is 10, so it will take the default value of c as 10. And as soon as you will try to execute this specific function, so what is the value you will be able to get? A plus b minus c, 20 plus 30 minus 10. अब क्या आएगा? Let's see whether we are expecting the correct result or not. And when you run this, you will get 40 only. You will get 40 only. समझ में आया? क्लियर हुआ? क्या बोला मैंने यहाँ पे? रिटर्न प्रिंट का यूज भी आएगा. अभी के लिए जितना समझाया जा रहा है, प्लीज फोकस ऑन दैट. वी विल डिस्कस टुडे ओनली ऑल दीज कॉन्सेप्ट्स. Is this clear? So what is the difference between the below function call and the above function call? In the below function call, C is not defined. मतलब हम उसमें कोई वैल्यू इंसर्ट नहीं कर रहे थे. C is not having any value, क्योंकि हमने सिर्फ शुरू की 2 वैल्यूज पास करी थी. And that is the main reason that it will take the default value as 10. तो default parameters का मतलब क्या हुआ? The simple meaning is, if at any point of time, if you will not pass manually the value of that specific variable, it will take corresponding to that the default values. That is the main purpose of the functions, default parameters. Does it make sense? Yes. ऊपर वाले में C की वैल्यू थी तो उसने वही वैल्यू ली. तो इट्स अबाउट प्रायोरिटी. अगर आप पास कर रहे हो तो वो वही वैल्यू लेगा जो आप पास कर रहे हो. अगर आप पास नहीं कर रहे तो जो डिफॉल्ट वैल्यू होगी वो उसको लेगा. दैट्स द मेन आइडिया. समझ में आया? चले आगे. Shall we proceed ahead? Everybody? All good? Perfect. Yes, it will always take A, B, C in order. अब अगर आपको इन ऑर्डर में नहीं करना, उसके लिए अभी हम डिस्कस करेंगे. Now, let's assume कि we have another function called as calculate result. And inside this function, we have 4 variables, x, y, z value is 1, and w value is 5. Let's suppose this is the function we have. Now I am returning the answer as x plus y plus z plus w. ठीक है? Now what will happen? You will try to print this result, which is equals to calculate result, and इसके अंदर you are passing the value as 1, 2. So tell me, this 1 and 2 will belong to which specific variable? When you pass 1, 2, this 1 and 2 belongs to which specific variable? X and y. If I'll pass now 3, this 3 belongs to which specific variable? Z. If you want, I want to define this 3 value corresponding to w, not to z. So what will you do? You will say w is equals to 3. Getting my point? You will say w is equals to 3. So you can pass out of order parameters as well. In that case, you need to specify that for which specific variable you are passing this value. And finally, you can print the result. As soon as you will print the result, can you check? Verify. So what will happen over this specific scenario? Let's discuss. Let's discuss. So you only told me a few minutes back that x and y belongs to 1 and 2. So we have x as 1, y as 2, z value is available as 1, and W value is available as 3 लेगा कि 5 लेगा? Z वैल्यू क्योंकि हमने पास नहीं करी तो 1 लिया. W वैल्यू तो हम पास कर रहे हैं, तो जब हम पास कर रहे हैं तो that specific value will be entertained. So now what will happen? It will take x plus y plus z plus w. So it will be 1 plus 2 plus 1 plus 3. So 4, 5, 6, 7. So we will be able to get the answer as 7 over here. All good? Shall we proceed ahead? Your doubts are corresponding to the topic which we have not covered up. So please be focused, and what points I'm covering up, focus on that. The points which I have not covered up, I'll cover up either tomorrow or today. This topic will be covered up. Don't worry. For now, if you miss what I'm teaching, then you will be having doubts later on this topic as well. देखो अभी भी कुछ लोग बोल रहे हैं कि 7 नहीं होना चाहिए, 6 होना चाहिए. क्यों होना चाहिए? x की वैल्यू क्या है? 1 पास कर रहे हैं. y की वैल्यू क्या है? 2 पास कर रहे हैं. z की वैल्यू हमने पास ही नहीं करी तो उसने 1 ले लिया. w की वैल्यू आप पास कर रहे हो 3, तो 3 आएगा. ऐड करो सबको, 7 ही तो आएगा. Check this out. So this is the main purpose of what we called as default parameters. I hope with this example, everybody will be able to get the clarity. Default parameters. W की वैल्यू 5 नहीं होगी, 3 होगी, क्योंकि वो हम पास कर रहे हैं. तो if you are inserting the value in the parameter, then that value will be taken rather than the default value. That's the main point. Perfect. Now, there are few people who are asking to me one question, difference between parameters versus argument. So it's a very simple concept. Always remember, when you pass the values inside the function definition, for example, here you're passing x, y, z, w, right? These are called as parameters. These variables are called as parameters. And at the time of function calling, so here you are calling the function, right? This is the time of function calling. So at the time of function calling, when you are using these specific variable values as 1, 2, or w value as 3, this is called as arguments. So this is usually people use these two words interchangeably, but the main difference between these two words is that when you are defining the function and inside that, when you're taking the variables, these are called as parameters. And when you are doing a function calling, at the time of that, when you're using the variables, these are called as arguments. I hope it is clear to everyone. So if I'll ask from you that in this specific code block, when I'm using this greet of Priya Bhatia, this Priya Bhatia, is this a parameter or an argument? This is an argument. So in this case, when you're calling, so this Priya Bhatia is an argument. But when we're defining the function, so here this is a function definition. So in this function definition, this user underscore name is argument or a parameter. Is a parameter. Very good. Very good. Make sense? Simple difference, but usually we use these two words interchangeably as well. But I have given you a simple illustration of the difference between these two. Make sense? चलें आगे. Perfect. There is one more thing about the default parameters, and after that we will close this discussion. Sometimes as a beginner, people do mistakes. Something like this. For example, they are trying to calculate the result. And what they usually do is, let's say if you're doing something like this, x is equals to 1. And then you are defining something like this. Or isko aap define bhi kar sakte hain. What do you think? Will this code will work? If you will run this, you will get an error called as type error, syntax error. So if you will see this specific error and the code as well, let me just copy this code. And let me copy this error as well, because this is a very famous error. Usually as a beginner, we might make this mistake. What is the issue in this code? The problem is that always remember the default parameters should come at the very end. First of all, non-default argument will come and then default argument will come. Here, what is happening is when you're defining it, x equals to 1, default wala pehle aa raha hai, non-default wala baad mein aa raha hai, which leads to this specific error. तो हमेशा ध्यान रखना, जब भी आपको डिफॉल्ट वैल्यू असाइन करनी है, तो सबसे पहले सारे नॉन डिफॉल्ट वैल्यूज वाले सारे ले लो एक साथ, उसके बाद लास्ट में डिफॉल्ट वैल्यूज को असाइन करना. That is something which you always have to make sure. ठीक है? This is the important thing. That's why take it as a note. And I hope with this default वाली सारी discussion clear होगी सभी को. Cleared? Okay, so I'll take, if you have doubts, just bookmark it somewhere. I'll take those doubts again at the end of the class. Just let me complete this discussion and then we can proceed ahead. Otherwise, you can write it in the chat. I have another screen opened up with me. And then maybe we can discuss those doubts. Now, coming towards your one of the very widely asked question in the chat, what is the difference between return statement versus print statement? Let's discuss that. Return statement का मतलब क्या होता है? This is majorly used to exit a function. This is majorly used to exit a function and finally return a value. Finally return a value. So if, let's say, you don't have any return statement, so by default it will return none. Okay? So as soon as you will mention a return statement, what will happen is it will store some value corresponding to that specific function. And when you assign some variable to it, that specific value will be allocated towards this specific variable, which is by the name of result. तो यहाँ पर क्या हुआ? ये तो चलो कोड ही गलत है. This specific code is wrong. But let's suppose we'll talk about this specific code. So what will happen? This 7 value is automatically being assigned in the result variable. So this result variable is equal to 7. तो क्या होगा यहाँ पर? So we have this value 7, which is being assigned by the result variable. And then you will print this result. So 7 will be printed over here. Okay? Now, what will happen if you will try to write directly the print statement? What is the difference between these two? So let me give you one scenario. Let's say you're going to your friend's place and your friend has baked a cake for you. Okay? There are two scenarios. First scenario is that you went to your friend's place and he is just showcasing you that cake, that, hey, I have, baked a cake today. This is how the cake looks like. Or let's say he is sending a snapshot just for display purpose. ठीक है? This is the same thing happening in the case of a print statement or print function. Whenever we are using the print function, it simply means that it is basically used for displaying purpose on the console. So when you want to just display something, you can go with a print statement or a print function. What is the meaning of return? Return is like your friend is giving the cake to you and he is saying to you that, hey, you can go and take this cake with you and you can share this cake with your other friends as well in your colony. So what is the meaning of return? Return means that you have been taken a value from a function, and this specific value you can use any number of times. You can assign to any specific variable and use it in a future purpose. That is the main difference. So it is like a friend giving you the complete cake. And print is like your friend is just showcasing you the cake he baked. समझ में आया? That is the major difference. That is why when your function, you say that it returns something, it means that it is returning you some value which you can assign to any variable and then print it. But when you say that I'm not returning anything, I'm just printing it, it means that you're not storing any value for that and directly you are just displaying it on the console. That is the main difference between print and return. Now, depending upon your wish, depending upon your need, it all depends on you that whether it makes sense to you to just print it or return it. The output wise things will remain same because on the console at the end of the day you are printing it. But you want to print it after return statement or you want to directly print it. It all depends on you. It all depends on whether you want to use the return part, the variable part again and again in your code, or it's just one time. That's the whole idea. Is it clear? And that is the main reason here you can see that in this specific function, when we are using this function of calculate result, we're returning it. It means that this calculate result is giving some value. And what was that value? The value was 7. So now this calculate result is holding one value 7, which it is giving to you. And then result is something which is taking up that specific value of 7 and printing the result. That is the whole idea. Does it make sense? समझ में आया? All good? Let's try to see it practically again, and then maybe things will be much better, clear for everyone. So this is what we have learned. Incorrect usage of the default parameters. This is done. Now let's move ahead and discuss about print versus return statement. So let's discuss about this. Let's say you want to add two numbers. Now you are trying to create two functions. One function is def add with print. Here you are defining two variables A and B. And you are directly printing those values. You are saying that the sum is, let's say you are defining it A plus B. ठीक है? Then you are defining one more method, add with return statement. And inside this again, you are passing two variables A and B. And directly you are returning it. Now you're not printing it, you are returning it. Return A plus B. Now, when you are calling, so this is the portion of the function definition. Now let's talk about the function calling. What will happen? We will be having add with print. When you're calling it, let's say you are mentioning 3, 5. So you have the value of A automatically assigned as 3, the value of B automatically assigned as 5. Now, when you're using this specific method, it is directly printing it. It is not holding any value. So when you run this code, it will give you the direct answer as the sum is, let's say, 5. Sorry, 8. 3 plus 5 is 8, right? But when you're calling the method called as add with return, इस case में क्या होगा? Again, you're passing the value as 3 and 5. What will happen in this specific case? Because you're using the return statement, it is returning something to us. It is returning some value to us. It is like your friend is giving you the whole cake. You have to carry it. To carry it, you have to use a variable to store this value. So in this case, you will use one variable name called as result to store the value which is returned by the function add with return. So let's say अगर वो 8 return करता है, तो you have stored that value inside the result variable. And finally, what will you do? You will simply print this statement by saying the sum is, इस तरीके से you will use it, comma, result. अब अगर आप ध्यान से देखो, when you run this, in both the cases, you will get the same answer. But there is a huge difference between these two. What is the difference? In one case, we are not holding the value. We are not storing this value anywhere. We are directly printing it. That is why we are not even using any variable to store it. In another case, because we are returning the value, we are storing it in one variable and then we are printing it. Is it clear now? Which one is best? Obviously, return is the best part because print wala part is just for one-time use. We cannot, because we are not storing this variable anywhere, we directly cannot fetch it. But in the above case, we cannot fetch it. In the below case where we are using the return statement, we can easily fetch it. So obviously, return wala part makes more sense. All good? चले आगे. Now I will give you one task and you have to do that specific task. Let's suppose that I will give you 3 numbers, maybe A, B, and C. You need to create the function named as max of 3, which will take those 3 values A, B, and C and return the maximum out of these 3 values. So what we're supposed to do? We have A, we have B, we have C. The values are, let's say, 10, 25, 2. So what you have to do is you need to create a function by the name of max of 3. Inside this, we have variable A, B, and C. Here, write your own logic. And then whatever result you are getting, just you can store it inside the result variable. Max of 3, you can pass A, B, and C as the parameter, and then directly you can print the result. Go ahead and write the logic for this, and then share the code with me. How will you solve this problem? Already a bit of code I have done for you. Now, main logic part you have to define. This is not allowed. So you cannot directly use the max inbuilt method to return the answer. Write the logic. Max keyword use nahi karna. Inbuilt method use nahi karna. Who is the one? Function method difference. Usually, as I told you, they have used interchangeably. But Abhilasha, I'll talk about a minute difference between these two. If it is being asked in the task, I'll explain. For that, you should know a bit about OOPS programming, but I'll give you a brief illustration for the same to get a better understanding. Okay, so I'm getting the responses which make sense. So Shahid has given me the response. Does it make sense? Check this out. Yes, it absolutely makes sense. So if A is more than equal to B and A is more than equal to C, इसका मतलब A सबसे बड़ा हुआ, so we can return A. If the same story is for B, then we can return B. Otherwise, we can return C. So out of A, B, and C, we will compare the value of A with B and C. We'll compare the value of B with A and C. And finally, we return the value as C. So if you will run this, you will be able to get the final result as 25. Equal indicates that if, let's suppose, you will be having two values which are same, right? In that case also, your code should work perfectly fine and it will return you the answer as 25. So equal is a good idea. Clear it? All good? Shall we proceed ahead? Shall we proceed ahead? Very good. Now let's assume we need to create a function by the name of calculate total cost, in which we have given the prices to evaluate the sum of the prices. कैसे करेंगे? Let's try to understand. Let's suppose I will give you a list containing the prices. So here we have cost underscore prices, which is equals to 10, 20, 30, 40. ठीक है? What we want is you will evaluate total, which is nothing but calculate total price, और उसके अंदर हमारे पास वेरिएबल आ गया cost underscore prices. What we want is we want to print this total value. So you need to define a function. So let's define the function definition, जिसके अंदर you will define the method called as calculate total price. And here you will define a cost underscore prices. Here just write your own logic to give me the answer. Can you guys go ahead and do it? कैसे निकालेंगे total price? बहुत सिंपल है, बताओ कैसे निकालोगे? Exactly. So very simple. What we're supposed to do? Either you can use a for loop and like the way Gopinath has done. So let me try to copy the approach. For price in cost underscore prices, we will keep on adding up and we will be able to get the answer as 100. 40, 30, 70, 90, 100, right? We will be able to get the result as 100. Otherwise, that some method, which is a built-in method that we will be having, that is also we can use. Okay? Shall we move to the next problem? Shall we move to the next problem? Everybody is ready? Very good. Very famous problem, a palindromic problem. So let's create a function by the name of is underscore palindrome, in which we are passing the value of n that returns whether the number is a palindrome or not. तो कैसे करेंगे? Let's suppose you have a number which is equals to 1, 2, 3, 2, 1. Is this a number palindrome? So what is the meaning of a palindromic number? When you scan the number from left to right and right to left, both will infer the same meaning. So 1, 2, 3, 2, 1, and from right to left is 1, 2, 3, 2, 1. Both are having the same inference. So that is what we call as a palindromic number. So now we have to check is palindromic, and inside this we will have to pass the number as n, right? So let's try, this is simply function calling. In the above part, there will be a function definition. So you will define the function is palindromic, under which we will define this n variable. Now you can write the logic to check whether the number is palindromic or not. So Krishna has done it correctly. Basically, what you can do, you can convert the number, which is, what is the type of this n? What is the type of this n? Integer type. So we can convert this into a string type. Why? Because in the string, we have multiple methods. We can do a slicing operation very easily in the string. So what we can do, we can typecast this and convert this from a numeric type to a string type. Once you do that, you can simply return that whether the value of str of n is equal to str underscore n colon -1. Do you remember this thing? Do you remember this thing? Colon -1. What does that do? It will start traversing your values available in the string from the right side and will go 1 -1 -1 -1 till the left extreme end. So what actually we are doing over here in this specific function, very, very important function. Usually people ask these things in the interviews as well. So what we are doing over here in this specific part, so we have converted this into a string. So now we will be having this inside a string. String is nothing but is a collection of characters available in the list. So we have 1, we have 2, we have 3, we have 2, we have 1, right? Now, what we can do over here is we can have this index number 0, 1, 2, 3, and 4. Now, what you are saying, this str of n, obviously it will start scanning from left to right. What is this is doing? It means that start from the extreme right and then go -1, -1, -1, means start from the extreme right and go towards the extreme left. So it will start from 1, then 2, then 3, then 2, then 1. So this will be 1, 2, 3, 2, 1. This will also be 1, 2, 3, 2, 1. They both are same. So it will return the answer as true. It will return the answer as true. So if you will be able to see over here, if I run this code, the answer is true. But as soon as I will change this value of n to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and now let's try to see, what do you think is the answer in this case? It will be false. It will be false. Getting my point? समझ में आया? Clear हुआ? सभी को? यस, सभी को समझ में आया? चले आगे। यूजुअली दिस इज द वे टू राइट इन द टेक्सचुअल बॉक्स, तो मैं उसी फॉर्मल वे से लिख रही हूँ ताकि यू विल ऑल्सो गेट द अंडरस्टैंडिंग कि कैसे हम फंक्शंस को लिखते हैं डॉक्यूमेंट करते हुए। ठीक है। Why change in str? Because you can apply these slicing operations only in the list or string based data structure. इंटीजर टाइप में कैसे अप्लाई करोगे, इसीलिए हमने किया, दैट इज द लॉजिक. So whenever you want to apply the functions available in the list or the string, so in that specific case, definitely you have to do the conversion. You cannot do in the integer type, right? Integer type एक डेटा स्ट्रक्चर थोड़ा डेटा टाइप है, तो वहां पर आप नहीं कर सकते. All good? Shall we move to the next problem? Shall we move to the next problem? How many of you knows the meaning of Armstrong numbers? Again, a very famous interview problem. I don't know how many of you have encountered this problem in the interviews. Armstrong numbers. कितने लोगों को पता है इसके बारे में? नहीं पता तो listen it very carefully. For example, I will give you one number 370. 370. How many number of digits we have in this number? How many number of digits we have in this number? Count the number of digits. It is equals to 3. It is equals to 3. Now, this Armstrong number says that we will pick up individual digit, for example, 3, and we'll make the power of the count of the digits. 3 ki power 3, and we will keep on adding this stuff. Plus 7 ki power 3, plus 0 ki power 3. So when you add this, 3 ki power 3 is 27, right? 7 ki power 3 is 49 into 7, 343. 0 ki power 3 is 0. Add this number. What is the answer you will be able to get? 370 aa raha hai? So when you will be able to add the numbers in a way that individual digits and the count of the digit power में होगा, जब आप उसको add करोगे, so you will be able to get a number, and that number is something, if it is equal to the original number, this was the original number, and this was the summation of the numbers that you're getting, when they both are exactly same, that is what we called as Armstrong numbers. That is what we called as Armstrong numbers. So if I'll ask you that whether 123 is an Armstrong number or not, what will be your answer? Whether 123 is an Armstrong number or not. So again, what you will do? You will count the number of digits. So how many number of digits we have? What is the count of the number of digits? It will be 3. So what will you do? 1 ki power 3, 2 ki power 3, 3 ki power 3. So it will be 1 plus 8 plus 27. So what is the answer? What is the answer? 8 plus 1, 9. 27 plus 9, 36. and this number is not equal to the original number that we have, which is 123. So obviously this is not a Armstrong number. Does that make sense? Does that make sense? Now we have to create a function to check that whether the given number is an Armstrong number or not. So let's try to write the problem statement. Create a function by the name of Armstrong, or let's say is underscore Armstrong of n, to determine whether the given number is an Armstrong number or not. This is the problem statement. So what we have to do, or what you're supposed to do, define this number Armstrong of n. Inside this, you can write your own logic. But here, at the time of function calling, what we're supposed to do is, if let's say I'm calling is Armstrong, and inside that the value of n is 370, so I will be able to get the answer as either true or false. Right? So can you guys write the logic? Write the logic over here to determine that whether a given number is an Armstrong number or not. सबसे पहले think over it. How will you able to determine the size of the digit? How will you able to determine the size of the digit? Again, if I will be able to convert the number into a string, then it would be very easy for me to determine. So what I can do, I can say str underscore n, which is equals to str of n. So what will happen? The given number 370 is converted to a string. Now to evaluate the number of digits, कैसे निकालेंगे? किसी भी string के अंदर अगर आपको check करना है कि what is the size, how will you evaluate that? Exactly. Len of str underscore n. ऐसा ही करते हैं? Len of str underscore n. ऐसा ही करते हैं? Now, what we want is, we want to examine the sum of powers. So उसके लिए हम क्या करेंगे? Sum int of, you can say, digit power of number of digits. For a digit in str underscore n. तो यहां पर क्या होगा? What we have done over here, we have applied one for loop. From a given string, it will pick individual digits step by step. After that, I have converted it back to the integer type. क्योंकि हमें पता है कि जो ये नंबर है वो स्ट्रिंग टाइप का है, तो हम क्या कर रहे हैं, हम उसको इंटीजर में फिर से कन्वर्ट कर रहे हैं और बोल रहे हैं कि then try to examine the power of that number of digit. And finally, once you will be able to get that sum of powers, simply you can say return sum of powers equal to the original number which was n. अगर ऐसा होगा तो ट्रू रिटर्न होगा, अदरवाइज फॉल्स रिटर्न होगा. If you will run this, we will be able to get the answer as true. अगर आप इसी को ही check करोगे for 123, you will be able to get the answer as false. So if I'll just try to explain you once again what we have done over here, see this very, very carefully. क्या किया है हमने इस वाले पार्ट में? Basically what we have done over here, we have this number n. So the value of n is 370. We have converted this into a string because in the string we have a method called as len, which will help us to give the length of this number string n. This way we will be able to get the number of digits. So the number of digits, we got the result as 3. अब जैसे ही वो आ गया, हमें पता है कि this string of n is a string type. So what we have done, we have applied one for loop. From the for loop, it will take one by one individual digit. तो सबसे पहले क्या आएगा? 3 आएगा. 3 लेगा ये. What you are saying? Convert it into int type. Digit को लो string वाले n से और integer में convert कर दो. So 3 will be converted to integer type. Exponential. So 2 times this operator of exponential is power. Number of digits 3 plus we are doing an addition. Again next digit क्या है? 7. Power of 3. 0. Power of 3. So finally what is the answer we will be able to get over here? We will be able to get the answer as 370. जैसा कि हमने थोड़ी देर पहले solve किया था. Now because the sum of powers getting the value as 370, which is equals to n, which is also 370. So we will be able to get the answer as true over here. We will be able to get the answer as true over here. Does it make sense? समझ में आया? This is what the concept of what we called as list comprehension. कितने लोगों ने concept पढ़ा है? I think I have explained you in the last discussion as well. Sum is the inbuilt function. Sum is the inbuilt function. चलें आगे. Okay. So have you guys learned about the concept of list comprehension? I think in our last class we have covered up this concept. Yes? उस केस में क्या होता है कि we do have one line of code in which we are applying a for loop, we are applying the logic, we are applying any condition as well to get the result. Just to give you an example again about the concept of list comprehension. A very famous example, I don't remember whether I have given you earlier as well or not. For example, you want to do a square of the numbers. Okay. So what you will do, you will write a logic over here. You will say x to the power 2 for x in range 5. Now, if you will try to print this squares, you will be able to see within one line of code, you are explaining to the logic, to the squares part, that go from x equals to 0 till 4 and give me the square of that number, power of 2. तो वो क्या कर रहा है, इंटरनली एक लिस्ट क्रिएट कर रहा है आपके लिए, जिसमें 0 का स्क्वायर 0 होगा, 1 का स्क्वायर 1 होगा, 2 का स्क्वायर 4 होगा, 3 का स्क्वायर 9 होगा और 4 का स्क्वायर 16 होगा. So within one line of code, you will be able to create a list in which you will get the squares of the given number. Now, this is something which is equivalent to using for loops. जैसे हम करते हैं, सेम वैसा ही तो काम हो रहा है. It's just that it's kind of a short trick for us to get the squares of any given number, right? Now, in the above part of the code, it is similar to that. This is what we called usually as the generator expression. Similar to what we had in list comprehension, this is a generator expression in which we have an expression, whatever you want to generate, right? And then you will define a for loop with respect to the list which you want to scan to generate the expressions. So that is what we call as generator expression. Again, it's a short way to write the code in which logic is also there and for loop is also there. That's the main idea. I hope it is clear to everyone. How does it determine the initial value of x? I hope you all remember that in the initial discussions we have covered up. Range function by default will start from 0 and it will take the value till n minus 1. So here you have inserted the value as 5. So it will go till 4. So basically, when you do a squaring, usually we do like this. For x in range 5, and inside this you define the logic of, let's say, if you are creating one list of squares, right? Maybe here you are defining the logic, squares dot append x ki power 2, something like this. And then maybe you are saying print squares. Oh, kahan pe galti hui? Oh, definition we are doing it below. Squares को define करेंगे ऊपर. Are you getting the same answers here also and here also? It's just, I think this code is properly clear to everyone. So it's just a shortcut way to do the same thing. So instead of writing it 4 loop 1 by 1 and then writing it inside this one statement of appending that x square, we are writing the logic plus the for loop in one line itself. That is the main difference between list comprehension versus writing the simple for loop over here. Does it make sense? Is this clear now? Very widely used in Python. In Python, usually whenever we used to write the code, it's very handy if we know all these things, right? Perfect. अगर क्यूब निकालना है तो क्या करेंगे? पावर को 3 कर दो. और क्या करेंगे इसमें? वेरिएबल नाम चेंज कर दो, क्यूब लिख दो. You can write over here also cube. Very simple. It's just that when you practice, then you will get more habitual towards all these things. That's the whole idea. Getting my point? Is this clear, everyone? All good? For those people who are getting the errors in the implementation, don't worry. Maybe I'll share the notes and the file with everyone after the class. You can refer it, and then definitely you will gain the understanding. Now, let's move to the next part. Let's say I want to create a function by the name of sum and product, where we have two variables, obviously a and b, used to calculate the sum and the product of the two numbers and return the result. So basically what we want at the end of the day, we want to define a function called as sum and product. Okay? Inside this, we are defining the two variables a and b. What we want is, we want to evaluate the sum of the two variables. So you will say a plus b. We want to define the product of two variables. So we will say a multiplied with b. Finally, what we want is, we want to return the sum and the product of these two variables. So till so far in our discussion today, we have seen that we are returning only single value. But as per your problem statement, it might be the case that you might require to return multiple values. So in Python, we can easily return multiple values as well. In fact, I will showcase you, for example, here you are defining the value of a or the number 1 value as, let's say, 10, number 2 value as, let's say, 20. So in your result, you can take two variables, sum of result, which will take the sum value, and product of the result, which will take the product of the two numbers. And then you can define a variable sum and product. Inside this, you can define number 1 and number 2. Number 1 represents the value corresponding to A. Number 2 represents the value corresponding to B. And then finally, you can print what is the value we are getting for the sum underscore result and what is the value we are getting for the product underscore result. And as soon as you will run this, you will be able to see sum is 10 plus 20, answer will be 30. Product will be 10 into 20, answer will be 200. Is this clear to everyone? So why I am talking about this specific problem? Just to showcase you that we can return more than one result also in functions, in function calling. When we use return, I think few minutes back, we have covered up a topic of return versus print statement. So in your function, when you are using the return, it means that you are giving the value. Your function is returning some value. So in that case, print is not required. At the time of that function calling, you can directly use that variable to print something. Few minutes back, we have covered up in the class. Can we also return string as we use formatting string? Definitely yes. So you can use like that as well. All good? समझ में आया? Why we used print if we already had return? Anyone who wants to explain the reason? Anybody in the class? The question is, why we are using print statement if we are using return? Print is majorly used to display the results. For displaying the result, you have to use the print. Your variables are storing this under some underscore result. But उसको print करने के लिए print statement तो लगाओगे ना. अगर आप यहाँ पे डायरेक्टली प्रिंट करते हो तो प्रिंट हो जाएगा, फिर आपको कोई वेरिएबल है ही नहीं, कोई पिक्चर ही नहीं है वेरिएबल की, कोई वैल्यू स्टोर ही नहीं हो रही कहीं पे. दैट इज अनदर वे. देयर आर टू वेज. थोड़ी देर पहले डिस्कस किया था हमने. देयर आर टू वेज. कहाँ पे डिस्कस किया था? यहाँ पे डिस्कस किया था. मेजरली टू इलस्ट्रेट द डिफरेंस. या तो डायरेक्टली प्रिंट कर लो. डायरेक्टली प्रिंट करोगे तो किसी वेरिएबल में आपने वैल्यू स्टोर नहीं करी, हो गया ना प्रिंट, डायरेक्टली वैल्यू आ रही है. या फिर रिटर्न कर लो और फिर प्रिंट कर लो. फर्क क्या है दोनों में? मैंने एक कहानी बताई थी बेकिंग केक वाली, याद है सभी को? अगर आपको वैल्यूज लेके जानी है, स्टोर करनी है, तो ऑलवेज गो विद रिटर्न. एंड मैंने ये भी बोला था कि फंक्शंस के अंदर द बेटर आइडिया कुड बी टू फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल रिटर्न and then print the values in the console. So that exactly we can use this variable, this value in future as well. Listen the session very carefully, because if you will just lose the focus in between, you won't be able to get my point, what I'm trying to convey over here. I can completely understand for a beginners, it might seem a bit difficult, but once in the session, you should be active. And then after the session, you will get the recordings. Please try to watch it again and do the implementation again. I'll share the files with everyone. You can at any point of time pause the recorded videos and listen it again to get the understanding. Okay? Shall we move ahead now further? Next topic is about the scope of the variables. What is the meaning of scope? Scope simply refers to the region where your variable is visible. So what is the meaning of a scope? It simply refers to the area, to the region where a variable is visible and can be easily accessed. Two main types. One is the global scope. Another one is the local scope. Right? So if let's suppose you are defining any variable in the start of your code above your function definition itself. For example, you are saying that, let's suppose x is equal to 10, and then you are defining any specific function, let's say my function, and inside this, you want to print the value of x. And now if I will see, I'm not returning now, right? I'm printing it. So I don't need to store it in any variable. I can directly call the function. Now, when I call this function, can anyone tell me what is the answer I will be able to get? What is the output I will be able to get over here? It will be 10, because we have defined the value of x as 10. Yes, everybody? Yes, everyone? Even if I will say print of x over here, what is the answer I will be expecting? 10 and 10 again. 10 is something which is a global variable over here. So globally, I can access it any point of time. But what is the meaning of local variable? If let's say you are defining a variable inside a given function. For example, you are defining any function, my underscore function. And inside that function, you are defining any variable, let's say y, which is equals to 20. And now you want to print y. Okay. So again, I'm not returning it, I'm printing it. Now let's assume I'm calling this function my underscore function. And again, I want to print this value of y, just like the way I have done above. At the end, I have printed the value of x. So what do you think is the answer we will be able to get? What do you think? So you will be able to see that this my underscore function will run perfectly fine. You will get the answer as 20. But after that, in the second line, you will get an error. Why? The main reason is this y is a local variable. So it will be only accessed inside the function. So when you're calling this function, the values will be easily accessible. You will be easily able to get the answer. But outside the scope of a function, when you're trying to print this variable, you will be getting the error. That is the main reason you will be able to get an error over here. Because here, what we are doing is we are trying to access the local variable y. And that is the main reason. And that's the main reason we are getting the error mentioned as y is not defined. Getting my point? We will try to wind up within next few minutes, so don't worry. By 6:30 we will wind up. All good? समझ में आया? Now the next topic we have for the nested functions, I won't start it today. I think this much is enough. Let's try to start our Q&A discussion and let's take your doubts now. So basically, what we have covered up today, majorly we have focused on few of the interesting things. First of all, when we started our discussion, we have talked about what is the meaning of functions. We have seen it's nothing but is a reusable code block used for doing any specific task. We have seen two types of functions: inbuilt, in which already defined. We have documentation, multiple methods, multiple functions we have used. Then second one is user-defined. We have talked about how can we define a user-defined functions. We have talked about a great discussion with respect to the default parameters, how basically these default parameters are being defined. Then we have seen multiple problems. For example, how can we create a function with respect to maximum of 3? Acha, we have also seen the difference between print versus return statement. Then we have seen multiple problems like is palindromic, is Armstrong, what is the meaning of Armstrong numbers? Then how can we find the sum and product? And at the very end, we have talked about the scope of any given variable. Majorly two types of scope, global and local. What is the major difference between these two? Right? There was one question in the starting of the session that also I want to pick up. That is the difference between method versus function. Right? Usually, as I told you, that these two keywords used interchangeably, but intentionally, if someone is asking to you what is the major difference between these two, the main difference is whenever you're talking about methods as the keyword, it is usually defined when you implicitly take or when you work with the classes and objects. When you create, so it is associated with the object or with the class, right? So for example, let's suppose that you are trying to create a class. How many of you know the topic of classes and objects? Do you have an idea? What do we mean by class? What do we mean by objects? If I give you a simple layman term example for this, for example, car एक class है. अब कार के अंदर कौन सी ब्रांड है, कौन सी टाइप की कार है, क्या वो इलेक्ट्रिक कार है या नहीं है, मैनुअल है या फिर वो पेट्रोल लेती है, डीजल लेती है, ये सब क्या है, उसके एट्रीब्यूट्स हैं. सो एक कार एक क्लास हो गई और उसके अंदर बहुत सारी मल्टीपल कैटेगरीज होती है. सो यस, कार इज समहाउ काइंड ऑफ ब्लूप्रिंट and we have different attributes corresponding to what type of car we are using. Similarly, let's say we have a class of calculator. है ना? Now, the main purpose of this class is to do the calculation. Let's say in the class you have defined a method called as add. Now, there is one keyword called as self keyword in Python, which is used to connect the object with this classes. I will discuss all these things in detail in the upcoming sessions when we will talk about the OOPS concepts. But for now, just to give you an answer pretty well, let's say this is the function we have in which we are returning the addition of two numbers. Main thing is that we're returning the addition of two numbers. Now, let's say we are creating the object of a class by the name of calculator. Okay? So this calc is the object that we will be having. So what will we do? We will try to return the result in which we will say calc.add, and inside this we will specify 2, 3. And finally, we can print the result over here. So as soon as you will print the result, you will get the answer as 5. In this case, this calc is an object via which you are calling the add method. This is what we call as a method in the Python. Function is something which we have learned today. जहां पे आप कोई डॉट ऑपरेटर यूज नहीं कर रहे, जहां पे आप कोई ऑब्जेक्ट क्रिएट नहीं कर रहे, जहां पे आपके पास सिंपल फंक्शन है, राइट? दिस इज व्हाट वी कॉल्ड एज अ फंक्शन, एंड दिस इज व्हाट वी कॉल्ड एज मेथड. ठीक है? मेथड वर्सेस फंक्शंस, बट यूजुअली इट इज बीइंग यूज्ड इंटरचेंजेबली एज आई टोल्ड यू इन द इनिशियल पार्ट. ठीक है? So this is the overall idea about today's discussion.